Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Hope Logan begs for help. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal Hope Logan, Annika Noel, has finally passed the point of no return and kissed Dr. John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. For months fans have speculated about Hope's mental health, and it looks like writers are finally going to address her bizarre behavior. Here's what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful, spoilers ahead. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Hope Logan's spiral. Hope Logan's mental health and strange behavior has been a topic of discussion for almost a year, ever since she cheated on her husband Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, with Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson. The once demure mother and wife turned into a promiscuous cutthroat businesswoman who refused to let Thomas put a ring on it. Once Thomas skipped town, Hope turned her attention to Steffi Forrester's, Jacqueline McSinswood, husband Finn. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say kissing a married man after he blatantly shut on her advances is the final straw for Brooke Logan's, Catherine Kelly Lang daughter. This week on B&B, Hope will beg her mom for help and admit that she can't control herself and her impulses. We could have told her that a year ago, but some people like to learn things the hard way. B&B spoilers. Will Hope Logan get a free pass? Hope's sudden interest in her mental health is pretty convenient though. If she thinks Steffi Forrester is going to take it easy on her because she's struggling, then she has another thing coming. Interestingly, several years ago there was a storyline involving Hope taking anxiety medication and abusing it. The writers could be revisiting that and possible issues with her medication or side effects. If Hope is officially diagnosed with a disorder that makes her act impulsively and accidentally kiss married men, then can Steffi really blame her for what happened with Finn? Hope Logan, usually the beacon of resolve in the ever-turbulent world of Los Angeles high fashion, found herself spiraling into a chasm of desperation she never thought she would experience. The poised daughter of Brooke Logan was now a shadow of her former self, her eyes hollow, reflecting the turmoil brewing inside her. As the walls of the Forrester mansion seemed to close in, Hope felt like a puppet on fraying strings, her life unraveling with every passing minute. The world she once knew, filled with love, passion, and dreams, had morphed into a twisted nightmare. Steffi and Finn's betrayal had rocked her to her core. It wasn't just the sting of the affair that gutted her, it was the realization that she was no longer in control of her life. The fear gnawing at her soul was relentless, and it was this fear that drove her to the brink of madness. Sitting in the dimly lit living room of the cabin she once shared with Liam, Hope clutched a photograph of her family, her beautiful, perfect family. But the image was nothing more than a cruel reminder of everything she'd lost. The woman in the picture was smiling, her eyes filled with hope, no pun intended, for a future that was no longer possible. A shudder ran through her as she thought of Thomas, the man who had been both her savior and her tormentor. Their relationship had always been a volatile mix of love and obsession, but recently, it had taken a darker turn. Thomas had been there for her when Liam walked out, promising to protect her from the world's cruelties. But as his hold on her tightened, she began to see the shadows behind his sweet words and loving gestures. Hope had always prided herself on her strength, her ability to stand tall amidst the chaos. But now, as she sat alone in the silence of the night, she felt nothing but fragility. The walls seemed to whisper her failures, and the darkness amplified her fears. She needed help, desperately. But where could she turn? Who could she trust? She reached for her phone, her hands trembling. She knew what she had to do, but the thought of it made her sick to her stomach. Could she really ask for help? Could she admit to anyone, let alone herself, that she was drowning? Taking a deep breath, she dialed the number she hadn't called in years. Mom? Her voice was barely a whisper, but it carried the weight of 1,000 unshed tears. Hope? What's wrong, sweetheart? Brooke's voice, though tired, immediately filled with concern. I need help, Hope choked out, the words burning her throat. I don't know what to do, Mom. Everything's falling apart. Brooke was silent for a moment, her heart breaking at the sound of her daughter's pain. I'm coming over, baby. Just hold on. As she waited for her mother, Hope's thoughts raced. She had tried so hard to keep it together, to be the perfect mother, daughter, and wife. But perfection was a facade, and it had crumbled under the weight of reality. She was no longer the confident, unshakable woman she once was. She was lost adrift in a sea of betrayal and lies. When Brooke arrived, she found Hope curled up on the couch, tears streaming down her face. She rushed to her daughter's side, pulling her into a tight embrace. "Shit's okay, honey. I'm here," Brooke soothed, stroking Hope's hair. "I don't know what to do, Mom. I'm scared," Hope sobbed, burying her face in Brooke's shoulder. "Tell me everything," Brooke said softly, but there was a steely determination in her voice. "We'll figure this out together." And so Hope poured out her heart, the words tumbling out in a rush. She told Brooke about Thomas, about his increasing control over her, and about the dark thoughts that had begun to plague her mind. Brooke listened, her face growing paler with each revelation. "We can't let him do this to you, Hope," Brooke said firmly. "You're stronger than this. We'll find a way to break free." "But how, Mom?" Hope's voice was tinged with despair. "He's everywhere. He knows everything. I can't escape him." Brooke's mind raced, trying to come up with a plan. She knew Thomas had an unsettling hold over her daughter, and it was clear that his obsession was reaching dangerous levels. But Brooke had faced her share of demons over the years, and she wasn't about to let her daughter fall victim to one. "We're going to the police," Brooke decided. "We'll get a restraining order. We'll make sure he can't come near you or Beth." Hope hesitated, fear flashing in her eyes. "What if he doesn't listen? What if he comes after us anyway?" "We'll deal with that if it happens," Brooke said, her tone leaving no room for doubt. "But we can't let him keep you prisoner in your own life. You deserve better than this, Hope." The thought of going to the police terrified Hope. It felt so final, so drastic. But deep down she knew her mother was right. Thomas's behavior had crossed a line, and she couldn't pretend everything was okay anymore. Brooke stayed with her through the night, holding her as she cried and reassuring her that they would get through this together. By morning, Hope felt a small flicker of hope. The irony wasn't lost on her, starting to burn inside her. It wasn't much, but it was enough to keep her going. The next day they went to the police station. Brooke's presence gave Hope the strength she needed to file the report. She described Thomas's increasingly erratic behavior, the way he had isolated her from her friends and family, and the fear that had been growing inside her for months. The officer listened carefully, taking notes and asking questions. When they were done, he assured them that the restraining order would be processed quickly and that they would take Thomas's actions seriously. As they left the station, Hope felt a strange sense of relief. She had taken the first step toward reclaiming her life. It wasn't going to be easy, and she knew Thomas wouldn't give up without a fight, but she wasn't alone anymore. She had her mother, and she had the strength she had forgotten she possessed. That night, as Hope lay in bed, she allowed herself to dream of a future where she was free from the shadows of her past. It was a distant dream, but it was hers, and for the first time in a long time, she believed it might just come true.